Oh, hello. Right, let me mute this. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me get rid of this. There we go. That should get rid of that. And hopefully I'm still in focus. Hello, can you hear me? Please tell me if you can hear me. I think you can. Yes, you can. Perfect. Hi! Hello! It's been ages! I can't remember when my last stream was. I mean, I looked on my streaming channel, it says 5 months ago, so it's been a while. But, you know, life has changed since then, so I don't have enough time to stream as frequently as I used to, but I'm actually about 2 weeks ahead with videos. I've got 2 videos ready to upload for the next 2 weeks, so I have some free time to work on another project that I'm doing that I'm not ready to talk about yet, but that's why I scheduled videos ahead, because I needed time to work on it. And since it's Friday and I don't feel like actually working today, I mean, I already did work today at work. I don't feel like working again. So I thought I'd stream today, actually. Why so late? Because I had a nap. That's why. I actually am on a... I'm sorry, I'm trying to find some tape. Where is my tape? Here we go. I actually am on a decent sleeping schedule now that I have an actual job. And I have to start work at 9 a.m. I actually go to bed at a decent time, but I didn't go to bed at a decent time yesterday. I went to bed at like 3 because I was trying to get the video ready for today. I said I'm scheduled 2 weeks ahead, but the video for today was the last one that I did. It just turned out that way because I had to finish the bracelet for it. So yeah, I stayed up until like 3 a.m. yesterday, and because of that, I had to wake up at 9 to work for 9. So I had a nap. Now it's 11 p.m. and I don't want to sleep because I just woke up from my nap. Hello! Oh my god, I missed you guys. I missed you guys so much. The pattern is in the description, yes. I already actually made this pattern before. I like this tape. I think this tape is really cute. I've made this pattern before, but there's another video that I am in the process of filming. Should I spoil it for you guys? Do you want to know the title of the video? It's not much of a spoiler, but let me readjust. There we go. Is the music okay? By the way, if it's too loud, you can tell me. You want the spoilers? You want the spoilers? All right. So I don't know when this video is gonna come out because I'm not like, okay, I'll just start from the beginning. One of you suggested on my Discord server, which is linked in the description, that there's a section on my Discord server where you can suggest video ideas, and one of the video ideas that was suggested was to do a video where I order string from AliExpress or Wish or something like that, and then try to use it and see what it's like. Basically do a review on like really cheap string bought from AliExpress or Wish, and that's what I did. I bought a bunch of string from AliExpress, and I'm kind of in the process of filming that video, and this multicolored string in the center, this like red orange-ish one, is that one. So I'm actually making this bracelet as part of that video to test the string. So you're getting my opinions and views on the string before the video actually comes out. And my first opinion is that it was very difficult to untie because it tangled and it separated into like the separate strands, and then it tangled and I tried to undo the knot and I couldn't, and that's, you know, annoying. So, but we'll see. That's just my first thoughts, my first opinions. I haven't made a teardrop loop in ages. I don't remember how to do one. I don't remember how to do one. I think I go that way. I usually make, these days I usually make like a loop and then 2 triangle ends coming off of it, and I haven't actually made a teardrop loop in forever. So this is gonna be fun. Also, this is like the most stressful part of bracelet making for me, the very beginning, where you're trying to get the strings to align in the way that you need them to. I feel like I always make mistakes in this place. Like I always bring the wrong strings out. Well, and that happens, of course. I always bring the wrong strings out when I'm trying to do that, and then I need to untie it, and it's so annoying. So I'm gonna try and pay attention here, and then I'll be more responsive. I'll be more responsive in the chat once I actually get this part done, because it's difficult to do for me. I don't know. Oh, oops, sorry. Okay, I can't see. I'm looking at the preview that's delayed. Let me actually look at the preview that's not delayed. Actually, let me, 1 second, rearranging some views. Yeah. There we go. Now I can actually see myself. Oh my god, it took me forever to set up the stream because I haven't streamed in so long. I completely forgot how to even do it. I couldn't find my adapter for my camera to be able to stream from my camera. And then not only that, I completely forgot how to properly set up the stream from YouTube to connect it to my camera and everything, so I had to like figure it out. It just took forever. But we got there in the end, we got there eventually. It's fine. It just took some time. Alright, there's 3 background strings. Then we've got the outline string. There we go. How do I store my wall hangings in my Ikea container? The same way that I store bracelets. I just kind of chuck them in there. I don't know. I don't. Why? Why? Stop it. I don't have a very good system. I'll be completely honest with you. I just kind of chuck them in there. I hate it when this happens. I like to use tape to secure my bracelets down because that's the easiest way to film. But then this happens. So that's very annoying. What am I making? The pattern is linked in the description. Actually, let me use some more tape to tape this down. Yeah. Have I watched Outer Banks on Netflix? I don't actually have Netflix. I don't watch TV shows very much. I used to have Netflix. I used to watch it, but then I realized that I'm paying my Netflix bill every month and I'm not actually watching it, so I just cancelled it. I don't have any streaming services at all. Whenever I watch stuff, it's usually either YouTube. Right now, I'm completely obsessed with George R.R. Martin's interviews. And I don't even know why, because like I haven't watched Game of Thrones in ages. I haven't read the books. I have the first one, and I'm planning on reading it, but I haven't yet. But for some reason, I just got into this weird obsession with George Martin interviews. So yeah, I either watch YouTube or I mostly read books nowadays, like for entertainment. I don't know. So no. Alright, what am I doing? I did the 3 background strings. I did the outline, and then another background string, another outline. Okay, another background string. Another outline. I have no idea if these colors go together, by the way, like within the context that I'm using them in. I think they look pretty now together, but I don't know if they're actually going to go together well in the bracelet itself. And that's always a struggle. That's always the haunting thought I have whenever I'm starting a bracelet. Like, is this bracelet going to turn out any good, or is it just going to look horrible? Oh, on that note, actually, I can show you this bracelet I started. I'm determined. I am determined to make more than 4 bracelets this month, because the last wrap up that I did for July was 4 bracelets. I didn't have a June wrap up because I didn't make anything in June. The one I did in May was also very, very small. And that's frustrating and that's really annoying. And like people ask me like, oh, how do you manage a full-time job, YouTube and making bracelets and stuff? And the answer is I don't manage it very well. I don't make enough bracelets to the way that I would like to make bracelets, to the extent. Sorry, someone messaged me. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm determined to make more bracelets this month. And so I'm starting a bunch of bracelets. I already made one. Pretty big one, actually. The one I showed in today's video. Where is it? Maybe I can show it. Sorry, it's like far away. This one, I made this one. The pattern for this one is in the video that I uploaded today. I don't actually remember the pattern number. Maybe someone can put it in the chat if they can find it. But I really like this bracelet. Do you know what? I made this bracelet. I made this part of it in one sitting. And then I did the end in one sitting. That is not something that I usually do. that is not something that I usually do. I don't usually make that much in one sitting, especially considering this one was like, what, 30 something strings? This one's pretty big, like it's huge, right? And I made this much in one sitting. That's crazy. That's not something that happens very frequently. But yeah, I was filming it for a Not With Me, so there's a Not With Me coming out at some point, probably in 2 weeks, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you, that's like the video that I have. I haven't actually recorded the voiceover for it yet, but that's like a video that I have for when I don't have time to make a video, so I'll just release the Not With Me, because I already filmed it. But yes, I made this bracelet already, and I'm pretty happy with that. But I started this one, and I don't, okay, my focus is a bit off, so I'm just gonna, I don't have autofocus turned on. This is a bracelet. I'm starting a new thing with my patrons. So if you're interested in becoming a patron, if you're ever considering it, now is a really good time to become a patron, because even the first tier, so like even if you donate the smallest amount, you have access to this. On the Discord server for the patrons, I'm going to be doing a monthly not along with my patrons, where we basically, like, it's a mystery bracelet kind of situation, like you might have seen on Instagram people do this. I think I released something like 14 rows of a pattern, and you don't know what the pattern is, only I know what the pattern is, and this is the 14 rows of the pattern that we have to do for this week. Then next week I'll release another 14 rows, and then next week after that I'll release another 14 rows, and I think that will be the end of the pattern actually, and then you'll have a week to finish it in your own time. So if you want to knot along with me and some other people in the Patreon chat, now is a really good time to join, since I just posted this literally yesterday. But yeah, I made this. I'm not quite confident that I like the color choices that I went with here. I'll get back to the bracelet here, I promise. I just want to talk a bit about this. I haven't spoken to you guys in forever. But I wanted to try out this string that I got. Okay, my focus is horrible. It's Violet Lyrics by Yarn Art. I got the string in Russia and I wanted to try it out to see if it's any good. And so far so good. It's just a little bit, I think, overpowering with the sparkles. I'm worried that it's going to overpower the design of the bracelet, but we'll see. I think once I make a little bit more of it, I'll be able to tell, because the other thing is that the sort of pink string that's in the middle here is a multicolored one that I also bought recently while I was in Russia. It's also by Yarn Art, and this one's Begonia. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, I wanted that string to be the main focus because it's like multicolored. I wanted it to like stand out and be pretty, but I'm kind of worried now that the black is overpowering it. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to knot along this pattern with me, then definitely join the Patreon chat, which the link to my Patreon is in the description if you feel like doing that. Anyway, let's get back to this one. I just felt like chatting about that. What was I doing? Oh my god. I get distracted so easily. Okay, 3 background strings. 1, 2, 3. Nah, nah, nah. Okay, outline string, and then color string, outline string, color string. Okay, outline string. There we go. Outline string, color string. There we go. Let me just finish this left side and then I'll get into the chat, because the right side I can just look at the left side without worrying that I'm doing it wrong. Yet I still might do it wrong. If you've watched my previous streams, or if you've been to them, because I have a Masha Streams channel, which is I think also linked in the description, where I re-upload my streams, so if you missed bits of this one or if you want to rewatch some old ones, they're there. But yeah, if you watch my previous streams, you know that you guys distract me a lot. Like when I'm making bracelets, I make mistakes because I get distracted by the chat. So that's kind of funny. So I want to finish this before I start reading the chat properly. All right, there we go. This is the last one. I'm actually excited to see how this one turns out, specifically in terms of the loop, because I haven't made a teardrop loop in so long. I kind of forgot what they look like on bracelets. There we go. Oh yeah, hi Jake. Sorry, I didn't notice you here. Hi Jake. Hello, gonna try this for the 3rd time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to miss you. Hi Jake. For those of you who don't know, Jake is a friend of mine. He comes to my streams sometimes, so hi. Thank you for coming. Can you do a video on what colors are best to combine? I think I did. I didn't do a video specifically on that, but I think I included that in one of the videos that I did. I think it was the pattern to photo video. If I remember correctly, there's a... Yeah. I did a video like a year and something ago called Pattern to Photo in bracelet making, and I think I went through the process of what it's like to choose colors and how I do that, and a bit of color theory and blah blah blah, so you can watch that one. And also I think there's a vlog somewhere where I'm starting bracelets, and I think I might have talked about that there as well. Never been to a live before. Hi, welcome! Welcome, I hope you enjoy it. I used to stream pretty frequently. I used to do it like once or twice a week. But unfortunately, you know, life happens, so I can't really do that anymore. I thought you were deliberately ignoring me. No, I'm sorry, Jake. I'm sorry. Let me go through the chat actually, see what other messages I might have missed. That's huge! Yeah, it's a massive bracelet. Oh my god. Where did I get my washi tape? Not this one, by the way, the one that I showed before. Where did I get my washi tape? I get my washi tape buy them on Amazon. I also bought a bunch on AliExpress. I don't remember where the specific one came from. I think this one was Amazon, but there's a lot of washi tapes on AliExpress as well. They're super cheap. And they're good, so you can buy them there if you feel like it. Is it a Celtic knot pattern? I'm not sure, maybe? Let's look at the keywords. Yeah, it says Celtic in the keywords. I don't know if that's accurate. Do you answer DMs on Discord? My DMs on Discord aren't open. My DMs on Discord are closed, so no. Because it gets overwhelming and I get notifications for them all the time, and I don't want to. I do answer DMs on Instagram though. Well, I mean, I try to. I don't answer all of them because it also gets very overwhelming at times. But I try to. I promise I try. Have I ever tried a clipboard? I've tried a clipboard before. I don't love it. If it works for people, it works for people. I don't love it. I don't really knot anywhere else other than my table. And when I'm at my table, I prefer taping it down to the table, so like I don't really care. Oh my god, it's so unbelievably hot under these lights. Like, I am actually sweating under these lights. Like, it's insane. Masha has a friend request shut down on Discord and had the balls to question me why we weren't friends on Discord. I thought we were. I thought we were friends on Discord for forever. Turns out that wasn't the case. Oops. Sorry, Jake. We are now. We are now. We are now. What is my favorite bracelet? I don't know if I have a favorite bracelet. I did a video at the end of 2020 where I showed, I think it was top 15 or top 10 bracelets of 2020, something like that. I'm planning on doing the same at the end of 2021. I think I might make that a yearly thing that I do. I'm kind of nervous that I won't have enough bracelets in 2021 to be able to do that, because with my track record for this year, I haven't been making enough. But we'll see. But I don't know what my favorite bracelet would be. I don't know if I have one. I don't think I do. Am I doing this right? I think I am. Let's just go with yes. Oh, we were friends on your old account. Yeah, that would be why. My puppy ate my wool hanging. Oh no! Oh no! I'm sorry. That's like my dog ate my homework. Like, you wouldn't think that actually happens. I'm so sorry. Watching this to perhaps motivate me to start again. Well, if you do end up starting again, then definitely share pictures if you're on my Discord server. We have a bracelet showcase channel, I forgot the word for that, where people share their creations, and definitely share it there. I'd love to see it. It's really hot where I am in Canada as well. The thing is, it's not hot in London right now, especially because it's nighttime. It's like 11 p.m. It's like 15 degrees outside Celsius. It's not hot. My window is open. It's also kind of cold in my room, but I'm under these lights to be able to light up the stream, and it's just I'm so hot. It's boiling. Can you give me any tips to finish a 55 string wall hanging? Wow, that's huge. That's huge. I don't know if I have any tips on finishing stuff. Like, people ask me that all the time. I actually, I don't know. The reason I finish stuff is because well, people ask me that as well, like how do you get the motivation to finish stuff? I'm super excited to see what it will turn out like in the end. And I don't know, I just like get a little bit hyper-focused maybe and just push through and finish it. But I find that watching stuff or doing stuff while knotting helps, so perhaps that. Oh my god, there we go. This is, I think, one of the reasons why I stopped making teardrop loops. This is so difficult. So this is, you know, for everyone who says like, oh, how do you do this so perfectly every time? I don't, it sucks. Ah, there we go. I struggle hard, just like you. All right, how do I, the question is, do I start the bracelet now? Or do I flip it and start it from this side? Yeah, I'm gonna flip it because that way you don't see the knots. I think it looks prettier. It doesn't sometimes. Sometimes the way that I make it is a bit weird. I mean, to be fair, I made it a little bit wonky on this side as well. But I think I like it. I think I like it. I'll keep this. I will keep this. Alright, I genuinely do not remember how to make bracelets after teardrop loops, so I'm nervous about making this because, like, see how the strings go to the right instead of down? That's making me nervous. That's making me think that I made the loop too small. Because it should, realistically, go kind of just down. I don't know. Anyway, I'll just start it. Alright, I need to go into a chevron shape. A chevron shape, right? I just go down. Can you do more videos like rating my friends' to-dos? Funny that you say that because I was looking through my video catalog of all the videos that I have already made to sort of see if there's any series that I started that I want to continue or anything like that, or any videos that I want to make a part 2 of. And that's one of the videos that I thought about. So it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I was actually considering doing that anyway. So perhaps I will. But I'm taking a bit of a break in filming videos right now. As I said, I have videos ready for the next 2 weeks, and I need to take a bit of a break from videos. First of all, to actually have some time off, because for the past 3 weeks I haven't had any time off. I've just been working non-stop all the time, either at my job, like my employment job, or filming, editing, you know, making stuff for YouTube, or working on this secret project that I don't want to talk about, that you'll hear about in like 6 months time or sometime, I don't know, once I make enough of it to actually be able to talk about it, also related to bracelets in my channel. Or I was working on sending out Patreon packages. By the way, if you are a Patreon and you are expecting a package, I sent all the packages out on Monday, and you should receive it soon. I already told my patrons, but I thought I would say this again here. So, like, I've been working non-stop for the past 3 weeks with basically 0 breaks. So I need to... I feel like I know the secret. You don't know the secret. I don't think that anybody will guess what it is. Anyway, don't try, please, because I feel like I won't be able to bluff if I see it in the chat. But I don't think you'll be able to guess. It's not an obvious thing. Anyway, so yeah, I feel like I just need a break first of all, and then I also need some extra time to be able to work on this like project thing that I'm doing. So I'm not gonna be filming videos for the next 2 weeks because I already have videos done, and I just need to chill. I need to chill for a little bit. I need to chill. Oh my god. Did you get your pillow? Is this question for me? Did I get my pillow? What pillow? I vaguely remember something, but this might not be for me. I might be just imagining things, I don't know. I'm making the bracelet from your wrap-up that you said you were procrastinating on. Oh, that's a really pretty bracelet. Also send it, I would love to see, I absolutely love watching, I can't speak. Oh my god. I love seeing your bracelets, so definitely, like, if you post it on Instagram, tag me, or if you post it to the Discord server, I would also like to see it. What strings do you use? So most of these strings, well, I mean, all of these strings are embroidery floss. These are by Gamma, which is a Russian brand that I buy when I'm in Russia because it's cheap. But it's just like embroidery floss that's 100% cotton. Like, there's nothing actually special about the specific brand. Then the multicolored string here, which you probably can't even tell is multicolored, but it's the like orange and red one. That's one that I got from AliExpress that I'm testing out to see if it's any good for a video. So yeah. What's your favorite bracelet type, alpha or normal? I go through phases in which I prefer one over the other. I don't know. I mean, just based on the fact of like how many I've made of each type, I made many, many more normals than I have made alphas, and I feel like I'm more likely to be in the mood for making normals than I am to be in the mood for making alphas. But there are sometimes like months where I'm just in the mood of making alphas and I don't feel like making normals, so like I don't know. Can I use knitting yarn for bracelets? It depends on the yarn. I mean, the thickness, the fluffiness of it, like all of that kind of stuff. I would try if I were you. If you have some yarn like lying around, I would just try to do it, see what happens. Because there's some yarns that work, there's some yarns that don't. There's not a one fits all answer for this question. So just try it. Just try it. I recently started making friendship bracelets because of you and I love it so much. Oh, that's awesome! That's awesome! Welcome to the bracelet making community. I hope you have a good time. Yeah, just welcome. And I'm glad to hear it. Thank you for joining the live. How many of you are here? Oh my god, there's like 120 of you guys. Wow. I did not realize. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Oh, I missed you guys so much, honestly. I should stream more often. I really try. I promise. It's just difficult. I'm in a bracelet slump, so I hope this stream will motivate me to knot something. Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry. I hope it does too. I hope it does too. I wonder how much of this bracelet I'm actually gonna get done with you guys. I don't have a very good track record of making a lot of the bracelet while streaming, because I tend to get distracted by the stream. How do I find patterns? Ooh. Do you know what? I haven't hunted for patterns in a super long time. I don't remember the last time that I went hunting for patterns, because I've been so busy with adjusting to my new routine and living situation and schedule and blah 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 with the new job that I started 3 months ago. I'm still like, I started that new job 3 months ago. It's been 3 months that I've been at that job, and I still feel like I haven't properly adjusted to the routine and the schedule, and I still feel like I'm in like panic mode all the time trying to make everything work. And so I see a therapist. I've been seeing a therapist for the past year, and my therapist seems to think that I might have a little bit too much on my plate. And she might be right. So I don't know. She keeps telling me that, like, oh, why are you chasing after like so many things all the time? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we should explore that a little bit. Try and figure out, why do I have this incessant need to constantly be doing something? I don't remember what the question was, and I honestly don't remember why I started talking about that. I'll be honest with you. Somehow I started talking about that. What's the most strings you've used in a bracelet? Ooh, does a wall hanging count? Does a wall hanging count? I mean, to be fair, even if wall hangings count, I still don't know the answer to that question. A lot. I think the Luffy one hanging that I did was probably the biggest one, but I don't know. What pattern am I making? The pattern is linked in the description. Oh, the question was, how do I hunt for patterns? That was the question. Oh my god. I'm sorry. My brain is just going to different places. How do I hunt for patterns? Yeah, I haven't hunted for patterns in forever. But usually when I hunt for patterns, I go through the to-dos of people that I like. Or random people even sometimes. Like I sometimes stumble upon someone in the chat on Bracelet Book or something, and I just click on their profile and I read their to-dos. But most of the time I go through the patterns that are saved of people that I look up to in the bracelet community and like the work of. So there's my answer to that. One word, money. I don't think so. You know what? I'm not particularly motivated by money. I mean, I enjoy financial stability, specifically now that I have like a full-time job. The financial stability of that compared to the financial stability of just doing YouTube full-time, uncomparable. Doing YouTube full-time is incredibly stressful when you're not a big YouTuber and you don't have that financial security. But I don't, apart from just having financial stability in the sense that like, oh, I know that I'm gonna be able to make rent, and I'm not particularly motivated by money. I think it's just more of like personal fulfillment. I really enjoy making videos, making bracelets, all of that kind of stuff. I really enjoy doing. I think Jake, do you know what secret project I'm talking about? Like, don't spoil it for other people because like I'm not ready to talk about it, but if you know what the project is, tell me. I don't remember if I told you if I'm doing this. But yeah, that other thing that I'm doing, I get a lot of fulfillment from that as well. So like, I think it's that. Oh my god. What is my favorite washi tape? Do you know what? Probably this one actually. Like I use it all the time in all of my bracelets. Sorry, all my videos. So it's probably this one. Also, this one. I really like this one, and you can tell that I like it because I'm nearly out of it. I think this is the last layer of it. So this is really sad. And this one I got on Amazon. Don't think so, you can tell me later. I definitely will. Guess who's turning 17? Congratulations, happy birthday. Well, happy future birthday, I guess. What are your hobbies aside from making bracelets? I read a lot. Can I talk about books? Do you guys care? Can I talk about books for a bit? I know you guys get really annoyed when I start talking about Harry Potter. I promise I won't start talking about Harry Potter because I know that you guys get really annoyed when I do. But okay. Sorry, I hooked you up with the other thing that you're figuring out, so I'm guessing it's not that. No, it's not that. Although I'm very excited about that as well, which is another thing that I'm working on. I mean, technically, anyway. Oh, shut up about things I'm not ready to talk about, because I hate it. I hate it when other YouTubers do that. But now I realize that it's really, really hard to not talk about something that you're very excited about. I'm sorry. I know I hate it. I hate it when people do that. Oh, shut up. It all got knotted together. Books. Did you ever read more fanfics? I've read 3 fanfics. I read, what did I read? I read Isolation by Bex Chan, which is a Dramini. That's the first. I'll shut up about Harry Potter once I talk about the fanfics. That was the first ever fanfiction that I read. Then I read Manacled by Senlin Yu, which was Pain. And I read All the Young Dudes. And then I haven't read any more fanfic after that. But that was the 3 fanfics that I read. And I gave 5 stars to all 3 of them. I loved all 3 of them. Anyway, okay, the books that I actually wanted to talk about. So, I used to be a pretty big reader when I was a kid. I used to read all the time. I need to stop looking at the chat while I'm telling a story, because then I never will finish the story. I will look at the chat once I'm done with the story. I'm sorry. I get too distracted by guys. So, I used to be a really big reader as a child. I would read all of the time. I had a huge book collection. I think if you guys are from the UK, you might know I don't know what they're called, like the fairy series with the little fairies on the book covers and the goblins and stuff. Rainbow Magic, I think it is. That's what it is. Rainbow Magic series. I think that was the first like book series that I got. I did this wrong. That was the first book series that I got completely obsessed with when I was like 6 or something, 7, I don't know. I loved them, and I was also, because I'm, you know, compared to you guys, I am old. It was also during the time where they were like first coming out, so I got to read like all the beginning ones, and I loved them. But then, what else did I read? I read a lot of Enid Blyton as a kid. What am I doing? What did I do wrong? Oh, I missed a row. Oops. I read a lot of Enid Blyton as a kid. I really enjoyed the mystery series books. Anyway, I read a lot as a kid. That's what I'm trying to say. And then as a teenager, I sort of read a little bit. I dabbled in like a bunch of young adult books. I mean, to be fair, I read a good chunk of young adult books, like quite a lot of young adult books, but it wasn't as intense as my reading obsession was. I was a child, so it kind of died out. And then as a young adult, when I sort of moved away to university, I stopped reading. I don't know why. It just kind of stopped being a thing that I did, and I started to read, like, I still read a little bit, like, but like it was like maybe 2 books a year or something, like 3 books a year. That's basically nothing for me. And recently I was like, why am I not reading? This is sad. I should be reading more. So but the problem is now for me is that I don't know what my reading tastes are, because I only ever read as a kid. I only ever read as a teenager. I don't know what my adult reading tastes are, and I'm absolutely sick of young adult. Like, I'm sorry, I love it. I love young adult, but I'm sick and tired of reading it. Like, I'm absolutely, if I have to read another book with a teenager as a main character, I am going to cry, because I'm sick of it. Like, I read way too many of them. They're very predictable to me at this point. Like, I'm just ready for something new. They don't pull me in as much. And I also just don't relate to the characters anymore. Because I'm not a teenager anymore. Like, I'm 23, you know what I mean? I don't relate to high school drama and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what my favorite genre is. Like, what do I actually enjoy reading? Because with reading adult books, you have to, like, know the genre. Like, you can't just pick up any book. You have to, like, do you like mystery novels? Or, like, you know, murder mysteries, whatever. Do you like, I don't know, science fiction? What kind of books do you enjoy? Like romance, fantasy, all of that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to basically read a book from each genre to figure out what books I enjoy. And I, for whatever reason, had a thought. I was convinced that I don't enjoy fantasy. I have no idea why, but I was convinced that I don't like fantasy. So I didn't want to try any fantasy books. I thought I would hate it. I don't know. I don't know why. Genuinely do not know why. Because I love Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is a fantasy. I loved Game of Thrones, like watching the series. That's also fantasy. Like, I don't know why I didn't make the connection that I don't enjoy fantasy, but turns out I do. So I wanted to give it a chance anyway, even though I thought that I would hate it. I wanted to give it a chance, and I watch a lot of booktube. I watch a lot of like book talk on TikTok as well, and everybody is talking about Brandon Sanderson all the time. He's referred to constantly, and so I wanted to try a book series by him, because I know that I enjoy series over standalone books. So I picked up Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and I haven't been gripped by a book this hard for years. The last time I was this intensely gripped by a book was probably 10 years ago when I was reading Harry Potter for the first time. Like, this book just grabbed me and pulled me along the entire ride. I read the first book in less than a week, which is huge for me, because the book is thick. It's like 500 something pages, I think. No. Book is like 700 pages, I think. I don't know, it's huge. And I read that in less than a week, which is really fast for me personally. I was reading it mostly on my way to and from work, because it takes me like an hour to get there, and then on my lunch breaks as well. And then the second book I read in like 2 days because I was so obsessed with it, and I'm now in the process of reading the third book. And if there were more books, I think I would have read the third book already because it's really interesting, and I feel like I would have blown through it, but I am really nervous about finishing it because then the story's gonna end. So I'm like actually trying to pace myself and not read it in one day, even though I probably would have had there been more books. Anyway, I love it. So I think I'm obsessed with fantasy now. Yeah, so I have a lot of books on my TBR now that I realized that I actually enjoy fantasy. Anyway, I'll stop talking about books now. Alright. I had to read 2 books for summer reading and I'm struggling to finish the second one. Do you know what? Yeah, I really struggle finishing books that I don't enjoy. I'm reading Game of Thrones right now. Oh, that's awesome. I really want to read Game of Thrones. I have the first book. What did I do? Did I do this right? Yeah, I have the first book and I really want to read it, but I'm just kind of nervous because I feel like I've been told, at least, that Martin's writing style is a little bit difficult, and especially since I'm not confident that I enjoy fantasy, or at least before I wasn't confident that I would enjoy it, I kind of kept putting it off. I might dive into it now. I don't know. I'll put Masha's book obsession into context. I don't think there's ever been a time where we've met up and she's not walked into a bookstore. Really? Has there not been? Do we always go to bookstores whenever we meet up? I mean, to be fair, that's true for all of my friends. Like, whenever I meet anybody in person, I always go to a bookstore. That's kind of funny. I didn't realize that was a thing. Would you ever try to crochet? I would try it. Yeah, I'm open to it. I'm just not on my priority list. Like, maybe at one point I will. It's not something that I'm planning on right now, though. I have to go. I enjoyed watching what I did, though. Oh, thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here anyway. For whatever time you have. Thank you for sharing that with me. If you want to watch a replay, it'll be on Masha streams eventually. That goes for everyone, not just specifically you. Just reminding you guys that I have a channel for my streams. Would you like to sew one day? I would like to try. I mean, again, it's like one of those things that I'm open to trying other crafts. It's just not something on my priority list right now. Like, maybe eventually. I tried cross stitch and I loved it. It was really fun. I haven't tried it since then. but I liked it for the time that I did it. But it's not on my priority list right now. What do we think about the start? I think I made the loop too small. I think I needed to make the loop a little bit bigger so it could like stretch out properly. I might be wrong. I might be overthinking it, but I think like maybe 2 or 3 more knots would have made it better. It's really hard to guess these kinds of things. Game of Thrones is definitely not for young adults. Yeah, definitely don't read that if you are a child or a teenager. Like, it's not something you should read. Could be a fun video of you trying to crochet for the first time. Do you know what? Maybe I will do that. Maybe I will do that at some point. I have a bunch of crocheting thread because, like, technically this is crochet thread, is it not? Am I wrong? I mean, it doesn't say on it. It just says machine washable. Well, technically, I think like this is crochet thread. I have a bunch of thread that specifically says crochet thread. So maybe I should. Maybe I should. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Loop looks perfect. Oh, thank you. Well, maybe I'm overanalyzing it. I don't know. Okay, I could go further on this side. Like, people... Okay. Teaching moment. Teaching moment, children. Listen up. When I segment knot, I say all the time that there is no right way to segment knot. To be fair, that depends on the pattern. There might be some specific patterns that are exceptions to this rule, that there is only like one way you can... I shall listen, thank you. That there is only one way that you could segment knot it. I don't know. There's always exceptions to the rules. Let's just say that. But a lot of the time, it doesn't matter how you segment knot a bracelet. So I could, in this situation right now, if you are looking at the pattern with me, I don't know if you can see it, but I could go to the left here and extend this bit to the left and just kind of like knot this part of the bracelet and have the left bit done, basically. I could do that. Or I could do this part, and I would rather now actually do this part because I want it to be balanced. I don't want the left part to be done and the right part to not be done, because I feel, this is a personal preference, but I prefer the bracelet to be somewhat balanced as I'm knotting it, because I feel like if I start making too much on the left side, I'm gonna pull too hard to the left, and I'm gonna sort of, I don't know, make it wonky by pulling on it too much. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Children, I'm the same age as you. Am I older? I think I am. Anyway, it doesn't matter. If you do crochet, I would recommend doing chunky yarn. Ooh. And do, I don't know how to pronounce that, amigurumi? That's the animals. And like, that's the animals, right? Like the, am I understanding that correctly? Can we see a container? I've never seen an Ikea container. It's really far away. It's really far away. It's like a plastic box. You were born in 97. I apologize. Okay, you're older. I apologize. It's like a plastic container with a lid that is see-through. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's pretty far away. I can't show it. I'm sorry. Do you recommend any certain videos? My friend wants to know the basics of bracelets, and we are trying to make one for each other. I recommend for all beginners to watch my beginner's guide first, which is really annoying for me now, because looking back, that was like one of the first videos I ever filmed with my face in them, and I was incredibly nervous on camera, and I didn't have any lighting, and I didn't really do my makeup very well in that video, and I just feel like it's incredibly cringe looking back on it, but I still stand by everything I said in that video. I think it's a good resource for beginners. So my beginner's guide is definitely a video that I would recommend for you to watch, just if you know nothing about bracelets, or even if you know like some things but want to know more. I don't know, I think that's a good resource to just give you an overview about like what bracelets are, any kind of resources that might help you. It's not necessarily a tutorial in and of itself, it's just an overview guide to help you sort of go in the right direction with progressing with your bracelet making. But if you are asking about a specific tutorial to start with, I would recommend the Chevron bracelet. And I also have a tutorial for that. It doesn't have to be my tutorial, you can watch other people's tutorials, I don't really mind. But I think the Chevron bracelet is a good place to start your bracelet making, because that helps you understand how to make forward knots and how to make backward knots. So yeah, at the same time, because like a problem with my bracelet making, for example, when I started making bracelets, I started by making the candy stripes. So I got really familiar with forward knots, and I could do them really easily once I made a bunch of candy stripes. I made like 4 or 5 candy stripes. I got really familiar with making forward knots, and then once I realized that backward knots exist, because I didn't realize that they do, I tried to make them, and it was incredibly uncomfortable for me because I had only been used to making forward knots at that time. So I definitely recommend the Chevron over the candy stripe because you get to practice both types of knots. Hopefully that answers your question. There we go. Make a strawberry cow! Oh, I love it. I've seen other people make them. They're really cute. Maybe, okay, you guys seem to be really interested in me trying crochet. Maybe I'll try it at some point. Oh, I haven't made bracelets in years and you inspired me to make them again. Oh, that's so wonderful to hear. That's so wonderful to hear. Do you still play Animal Crossing? I don't as much, and that's really sad. I got really bored. I feel like that's the case for a lot of Animal Crossing players right now. I still log in from time to time and get crap from my villagers for not talking to them for forever. But yeah, I don't know. I got really bored with it. I'll be completely honest with you. Would you ever reattempt the 24-hour bracelet challenge? That is the question of the day. Maybe at this point in my life, probably not. Like right now and within the near future, probably not. I am incredibly busy right now. I essentially have 3 jobs at the moment. Between the job that I'm doing, my YouTube channel, and this other project that I'm doing, I essentially have 3 huge things that I'm doing, and I don't have time to do anything other than that. So 24-hour bracelet challenge just simply does not fit into my life right now. But I'm not gonna say no to it completely because I really enjoyed making that video. You guys seem to really enjoy watching that video. So maybe at some point I will, but just not right now. 3 jobs sounds like a nightmare. Nah, I like all 3 of them. I am actually the happiest I've been in a really long time right now. And also the busiest that I've been in probably my life ever. But I am incredibly happy with where I'm at in life right now because I genuinely enjoy all of the things that I'm doing. And this is so weird for me because prior to me getting like a quote unquote real job, it was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying for me to send out my resume, my CV, to send out my CV, to go through interviews, like all of that kind of stuff. It was absolutely terrifying because it was the first time in my life ever doing it. And I didn't think that I wanted it. I thought that I did it because I felt like it was the next step for me, like just the next logical step in my life. But I was absolutely terrified, and I kind of didn't even want to get a job. I was just kind of doing it to do it. I was scared that I was gonna hate it. I'll be completely honest with you, because I don't really know anybody in my life. I mean, I might be wrong, I might be completely forgetting about someone, but I don't think I know anybody in my life that actually enjoys their job. Apart from my dad, but he is self-employed and has his own thing going for him. So that's different. He doesn't work a traditional job, he works for himself. I don't think I know anybody in traditional employment that genuinely loves their job, and that's a horrible precedent, you know? Like, I was terrified of it. And I'm 3 months in, and granted that's not a lot of time, but I really love my job. Like, I really, really do. I love everything about it at this point. For those of you who don't know, I think I saw a couple of questions before as well, I forgot to answer them. I work for an entertainment company right now, and I basically run 12 now. I used to run 11, but they gave me a new channel. I run 12 of their YouTube channels. They have like 300 of them, and I run 12 of them in like a bunch of different languages, some of them in Russian actually. So yeah, and I love it. The stuff that I do includes like an analysis of the videos that they already have to try and determine like what does well, what kind of content they should be focusing on and making for the future. I don't know. I plan out the different content for like I schedule out content. I decide what to post, when to post, what format to post it in. I manage the like SEO of all the uploads. I do the thumbnails, which is actually probably my favorite part of managing the channels. I really enjoy making the thumbnails because I don't know, I enjoy graphic design. And it's fun to like scroll through a video and like get a bunch of screenshots and then cut them up and paste them together, slap them together, make them look cool. So yeah, I do that. And then apart from that, I also have like a bunch of extra tasks that I do. And I love it. It's so fun. I love it. I love the actual work. I feel like I can get into the zone and sort of do things very efficiently and like, I don't know, I enjoy it. And then I really like the environment itself, the people that I work with. It's a very sort of young environment, if that makes sense. The people in the office are like really young, sort of my age and within 10 years of my age, I would say, like up. Anyway, I really enjoy the people. They're really fun as well, so I love it. Do my employers know that this channel exists? Yeah, they do. That's actually one of the reasons that they hired me, because I had experience in managing YouTube channels. So, yeah, they know that it exists. In fact, causes some weird situations sometimes. I don't know if everybody that I work with knows that I have a YouTube channel and like do YouTube as well, but some people do, and when people find out, it's sometimes generates like really weird reactions from people. It's been a conversation starter. I don't really talk about it. I don't I don't really talk about it, but sometimes people, like other people, will mention it to people that I'm talking to. Like we have some social events within the office, like after work, or like parties and stuff. And like other people would see me talking to someone new and be like, oh, you know she has a YouTube channel? Generates some pretty fun conversations. What's the channel called? I won't tell you. I won't tell you because I don't want to. Privacy reasons. Oh my god. I'm taking an entrepreneurship. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Class this year at school. I hope it helps me with my small business. That sounds really cool. I hope it does. I hope it does. What am I doing? I've made this pattern before. I think this is the pattern that I did, what was the video called? I think the video was called something like trying to make a pattern without knowing the pattern, trying to make a bracelet without seeing the pattern, something like that. But I did an exchange with someone on Instagram, and I sent her string, she sent me string, and then along with that I also sent a couple of bracelets. She sent a couple of bracelets, and one of the things that she sent me was an unfinished bracelet, and it was an unfinished bracelet with this pattern, and I wanted to try to continue making the bracelet without seeing the pattern itself, just by looking at what she's already done, and she had already done something like this much. I think, I don't remember what the title of the video is, but yeah, something like trying to make a bracelet without seeing the pattern. And I remember from that video, this pattern is actually kind of annoying to make, because I'm trying to segment knot it. It's kind of annoying to make purely because, like, the section that I'm doing now, I have to make these two sort of V-shaped squiggles here and there, and then I go into reverse chevron from this midpoint out. And so I'm just gonna have two sort of triangle bits that are filled in with knots, and then this entire middle section is gonna be empty. And I really don't like that when bracelet patterns do that, because it's incredibly annoying to knot that. Because it's not balanced. The one with dust ice heads, yes, that one. It's incredibly unbalanced, and I don't like it. I don't like it when I'm making knots and I'm pulling out. Whenever I'm making a bracelet, this is also like a top tip to try and help keep your bracelets straight and neat. Whenever I'm making a bracelet, I like to have the knots pull in rather than out, because if they're pulling out, you run the risk of making the bracelet widen or just distort, make it look inconsistent, and when you pull them in, it usually is fine. I feel my edges are a little bit weird. Should I try doing the straight edge technique? I should try doing the straight edge technique. I can do it here. I should have started that from the beginning, I'll be honest with you. I'll start now. Do you sell your bracelets? I don't. I don't. That's a lot of work that I don't have the capacity for. How are my plants? Oh! Accidentally hit my light. How are my plants? My plants! I posted a story on Instagram recently where I showed you how my cacti, I don't know, were behaving a little bit weirdly. They were sort of like shooting up and growing up. And I thought that that was really cute and funny, and so I took a video of it. And then a bunch of people messaged me and told me that that's actually not good. That's actually a bad sign, and that means that the plants aren't getting enough light. And once people pointed that out to me, I actually realized that, oh, yeah, they aren't getting enough light because they stand on my shelf. The reason that I didn't put them on the windowsill is because in the place that I lived in before, the sunlight was super direct, like it hit directly into my room. And you're not supposed to have any kind of plants, even cacti, in direct sunlight because it burns them, and it has burnt these cacti before because I'm not particularly experienced. These are my first plants ever, really. So I didn't want to put them in direct sunlight, but then I also forgot that I moved, and the place I live in now doesn't have direct sunlight. I live opposite the sun, so I still get sunlight in my room, it's just not direct. So I absolutely could have put them on the windowsill here, and I just kind of forgot about that. And because I get indirect sunlight, and because they were on the shelf was also kind of blocking the sun from them. And so not only were they not getting direct, like even indirect sunlight, they kind of blocked off from it. And then to make matters even worse, a lot of the time when I go to work, I don't open the curtain. I just kind of leave it because I don't know, I forget or whatever. And so I just blocked the sunlight from these poor plants for God knows how long. And it didn't occur to me until people pointed it out that like, oh, the way that they're behaving is because they're not getting enough sunlight. And I was like, oh my God, I've been neglecting my poor children. And that made me feel so bad, like I nearly cried about that. That was really sad for me. But they're on the windowsill now. I think they're fine. I think they're all right. So yeah. Will this video be available on replay? It won't be a replay, but it will be a re-upload on my Masha Streams channel, which is linked in the description, and also on my channel page. Or you can just also search up Masha Streams. There we go. Where's the washi tape from? I think this one is from Amazon. My poor children, they are! They're my babies, they're my plant children. I know people hate it when like women say like plant babies. But they are! They're my plant children! Oh my God. I'm working... Let me get some water, actually. 1 second. I've been speaking for... Oh, it's been an hour already. Wow. I've been talking for a while. I need some water. Where is it? Ooh! 1 sec. I forgot what I was talking about. I'm working on my first wall hanging, and I've made like 5 times the progress. I made like 5 times the progress than you. Focus on your bracelet. Oh my God. I do need to focus on my bracelet. That is true. That is true. My plant has lived. My grandma has a plant that lived for like 7 years. Awesome. That's awesome. My grandma used to have a rose plant. My strings are all knotted up in the bottom. Ah, it's so annoying. My grandma used to have a rose plant inside, which is weird. People don't usually have rose plants inside. And it would bloom. And it was really pretty. I liked it. How many bracelets do you make per week on average? 0? You guys really genuinely overestimate how many bracelets I make. I know my entire channel is about bracelets, but I actually don't make that many bracelets nowadays. I used to make a lot of bracelets back when I was doing YouTube full time, but nowadays I really don't. But even back then, honestly, even when I was doing YouTube full time, you guys I feel like really overestimate the amount of bracelets that I make. Yeah, these days I don't make any bracelets per week. Last month I made 4 bracelets. I'm trying to do better this month. I genuinely am. I'm trying to make more than 4 at least this month. We will see how successful I am at that. What book are you currently reading? I am currently reading The Hero of the Ages by Brandon Sanderson. There we go. Oh my God, this is so annoying. All of my strings get tangled at the bottom. Ah, there we go. There we go. Oof. You know what, guys? You know what? I got myself a mechanical keyboard. And I'm so happy about it. I'm unbelievably happy about the fact that I have a mechanical keyboard now. I kept seeing TikToks of people like having these beautiful mechanical keyboards that they customize as well with like different keycaps, which are really pretty, like the custom keycaps. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. But like custom switches and everything. Like I kind of fell into that side of TikTok with people posting about that, and I really wanted to get a mechanical keyboard, but I got really I've been wanting to get one for the past 6 months, but I kept getting extremely overwhelmed with it because every single video that I saw was about people making custom ones, and that's very overwhelming. I watched like a beginner intro video about like custom mechanical keyboards, and it went into welding. Welding! Can you imagine me welding something? That's not a thing that I do. Like, what? Like, the basic beginner, introduction went into the basics of welding. I was just like, what is this? I can't do this. So I got like really overwhelmed, and for the past 6 months I've just been trying to get one but kept procrastinating on it, and I just got like a random one that's already pre-built so I don't have to like actually build it. Which one did you get? Ooh, I don't know, I got it on Amazon. Let me find the description of it so I can actually tell you what the switches are and stuff. Wired mechanical gaming keyboard, PBT keycaps, Gateron red switches. There you go. Does that answer your question? I don't know. I don't know if that answers your question. I mean, I can show it to you guys. Let me try to get it in frame. It's really small compared to my previous keyboard. This is what it looks like. Look how pretty! Look how pretty. Let me try and type something somewhere so you can. I don't know how well you can hear it because the mic is kind of far away, but just let's do it. Doesn't that sound amazing? Let me delete that. That makes me. That's such a satisfying sound. Like, I have been obsessively typing stuff non-stop for the past 2 days because it's so cool. I love it. It's bringing me. Oh, let me put the pattern back up on screen. It's bringing me so much joy. I love it. I don't know. I didn't expect it to have this much of an effect on me, but I'm like overwhelmed with how much I'm enjoying it. Also, I got a new phone case, and I think it's really cute as well. I especially like the knickers. I think that's funny. So yeah, this is also bringing me joy. Like, things that are bringing me joy in my life. I'm pretty sure I bugged you about 2 years ago to get a mechanical keyboard. Yeah. Do you know what? That's actually basically since then. I've been trying to get a mechanical keyboard since then. Back then I wasn't as pressed about it. Like, you told me to get a mechanical keyboard, that the keyboard that I have is just like horrible, and now in comparison, like going back to the keyboard that I had before, it was horrible. I don't know how I didn't realize that, but it was horrible. Stefan has been bugging me about it. Thomas has been bugging me about it. But I didn't really care. Like, I wanted to get one, but I didn't really care enough about it until I started seeing those TikToks of like really pretty mechanical keyboards. And apparently it's like a huge hobby that people like customize them. It's like a whole thing that people do. People have like a million different keyboards. People have shelves to display their keyboards in. Like, I love the passion there. So yeah, that kind of pushed me over the edge of trying to actually get one. What's the brand? What kind of switch? Oh, I already answered that one. Is a wingspan length of string enough to make the bracelet that you are making? I think so, yes. Worst case scenario, like if you run out of string, you can just add more into it. It's not a huge problem. But yes, I would say that is enough. Would you rather run out of background string halfway through a wall hanging without knowing the DMC code? Or messing up 3 rows of wall hanging and having to undo it all. Why? Okay, why? Why is it that every time people ask me a would you rather question, it's always pain and suffering? Like, why do you want me to be in pain? Both of those options are horrible. I would rather run out of background string. I would rather probably run out of background string because it's easier to cut off a tiny piece, or even just take the wall hanging with you to the store and like compare and try and figure out what the color was, than to untie 3 rows of a wall hanging, because I usually make really big wall hangings. If I mess up 3 rows ago in a wall hanging, I'm not untying that. That's just not something that's happening. I will not be untying that. So, yeah. I'm either going to be trying to figure out how to fix it without untying it, make it work, or I'm just going to like not make that wall hanging again. So, there you go. I made my boyfriend a keyboard for his birthday last spring. You can make them without welding if you get GMMK kit. Oh, thank you for the tip. Thank you for the tip. Also, I just realized, oh my god, Oh my god, this is gonna be so annoying. I just realized you can't see the chat. I'm so sorry. Oh no. This is gonna be so annoying when I upload this to YouTube. You couldn't see the chat this entire time because I put my camera over the chat. Ah, I haven't streamed in 5 months, I'm sorry. Hopefully you can see the chat on screen now. It's embarrassing. What is the favorite bracelet? What is your favorite bracelet that you have ever made? Oh, I think I already answered this question. I don't know. I don't know what my favorite bracelet is. I don't know. Hey guys, just got here. Lovely bracelet, Masha. Hi, welcome. Welcome and thank you. Dude, you bought this amazing computer, then you ruin it with that shocking mouse and keyboard. Okay, do you know what? I replaced both. I replaced both. And to be fair, to be fair to me, I was incredibly new to this whole thing. Like, I didn't know about what is good and what isn't good. Like, I've never experienced a good mouse or a good keyboard to know what the difference is, because I've only ever really worked on laptops before. So, like, I didn't really know what the difference is. I wasn't educated. So, now that I've switched to an actually good keyboard, and a good mouse, I can tell the difference. And I'm shocked that I ever used the stuff that I used before. Because, like, the stuff that I used before I bought for, like, £10. Which is good, because, like, it works. But it wasn't of the greatest quality, or, you know. Anyway. Oh, let me show you the mouse that I have, actually. It was one of you guys. I don't know, can you see? How well can you see? This is the mouse that I use. It's vertical. So my hand lays like this on it rather than like this. It lays sideways. And that helps with my wrist, because I have issues with my wrist, probably because of bracelet making, I'll be honest with you. I have issues with my wrist. It hurts, and this is good for it. One of you guys recommended it, actually. Oh my god, put some dirt with it. One of you guys recommended it. It's called like a shark mouse or something, like a vertical mouse. I don't know, but one of you guys recommended it, and I'm super grateful because it has actually amazingly helped with my wrist. It's reduced tension in my wrist. So if you have problems with your wrists, or even if you don't, honestly, like, this prevents problems with your wrist. A vertical mice, yeah, they're amazing. I got one for my PC at home, and I also requested one at work, and they got one for me at work. So I now have these vertical mice everywhere. Whenever people come to my PC at work, oh, Thomas came home. Let me text him that I'm streaming so that he doesn't, like, come in here. I'm streaming. Don't come in. I hope I didn't accidentally lock him in. Is he in? Yeah, I did lock him in. Okay, well, I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I accidentally locked Thomas in. 1 second. Okay, oops, my bad. I accidentally locked him in. What was I talking about? I had a thought. Oh, whenever someone comes... What did I do? Nothing. Whenever someone comes to my PC at work, they always get really freaked out about my mouse, because they don't know how to use it. Yeah. Masha being a good flatmate as usual. Excuse me, I actually am a good flatmate. I do check every time, like, cause he works night shifts a lot. He a lot of the time comes home after a lot of the time he comes home after I'm already asleep. And I do check every single night before I go to sleep if I accidentally lock the door. Cause I do it automatically. It's not like I have to turn a key or anything. There's like a button there that I just press to lock it, so it can't be unlocked from the outside even if you have a key. And I like to do that when I'm alone because it makes me feel safe. I do check before I go to sleep. I just haven't gone to sleep yet, so I haven't checked. Oh my god, I need some more water. Whew. What's my oh my god. What's my favorite brand of string? I don't know if I have a favorite brand of string. I don't even know if I have a favorite type of string. Like, people ask me, like, what kind of type of string do you prefer? I mean, out of all of the types, even compared to, like, multicolored ones, solid color strings would be my favorite type because they're just the most versatile. Like, if you only... Like, the question was, I think, ages ago, someone asked me, like, if there was only ever one type of string that you could use, what would be the type of string that you would use? And the answer is solid color string, because if you just have multicolored string, what are you going to make from that? It's not going to look good, probably, because it will be all multicolored and it will be a mess. Multicolored strings, I think, look great when they are accented by other solid color strings, or even, like, sparkly strings. But sparkly strings are also solid color strings that just sparkle. And then also, just, like, if you use just sparkly string, that'll be a bit too much, too. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what my favorite brand of string is. I don't know what my favorite type of string is. I don't really have a favorite. I just use the stuff I have. But I do enjoy incorporating multicolored and sparkly strings in bracelets, which is actually the video that I posted today. It was all about special string, how to use it, and how to imitate multicolored string when you don't actually have multicolored string, but you want to go for that effect. So yeah. I'm very new at making bracelets, and your tutorials have helped me so much. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Thank you. And I'm really glad to hear that. Welcome to the community. I hope you like it. I hope you like it. I'm currently making the shaped bracelet for the challenge. Ooh. That's awesome. I'm really excited. I really love to see you guys participating in the challenges and the competitions. Oh, the chance of this being true is probably very low, but if Jordan, who won the bracelet competition that I did, is in the chat now or is watching the replay of this by any chance, I don't have your address. You're the last person I have to send the winnings to, and I don't have your address. I've been trying to message you and you're not responding. Please message me with your address. Anyway, I'm excited to see your guys' submissions for the challenge. That's what I was trying to say. Have you played Stardew Valley lately? I started playing again and I have a huge obsession. You should do a live stream on that. Maybe I will at some point. I haven't played in forever, I'll be honest. I haven't played in a really long time. And that's sad. What am I doing wrong? I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I just think that's a bit spread out too much. I haven't played Stardew Valley in forever, but I think actually I might get into it now because a friend of mine recently got it on Switch for the first time, and she's asking me like a bunch of questions of like, oh, how do you do this? What would you recommend here? Like, what is this? How do you do that? Like, all that kind of stuff. And I've been explaining it to her, and she's getting me like really hyped and excited to like try and play the game again. So maybe I'll do that. I just haven't had the time recently. I haven't had the time. But maybe at some point. I know that there's been a bunch of updates since I last played. Specifically, like, ducks can swim now. That's probably the biggest part that's like so meaningful to me. I don't know why. Can't believe I actually caught you live. Ah, welcome. I'm glad you're here. How long are you gonna be streaming for? I don't know. However long I feel like. It's been 1 hour and 23 minutes. But I don't know. Can you make a video reviewing patterns on Bracelet Book again? I should probably message the admin and ask to be removed as a moderator. I'll be honest with you. I haven't moderated in so long. I'm probably gonna message him after the stream and ask to be removed as a moderator, because people message me and ask me questions a lot about Bracelet Book and about like accepting patterns and such. People message me on Bracelet Book all the time, and I haven't been a mod in ages because life just got crazy for me recently, and I haven't had the time, or I don't know. So no, I probably won't be making a video on that just because I haven't moderated in so long. Like, you know what I mean? I don't have the time to do it, and I also, because I haven't done it for so long, I don't know the rules anymore. I feel like I've missed out a lot. So yeah. Can you please accept my friend request? I can't. I'm sitting on something like 6,000 friend requests on Bracelet Book. And there's... I can't, I'm sorry. Do you prefer making bracelets or keychains? And which do you like the result of better? I prefer bracelets. I like wool hangings. I don't really enjoy keychains because they're really small, and I prefer bigger projects. And also, personally, I don't find making keychains particularly comfortable. Like, they always tend to slip out for me. I don't know, other people seem to not have this issue. So maybe it's just me. But yeah, I also don't... I don't know, I prefer bracelets. I don't hate keychains or anything. I think they're cool. I like it when other people make them. I think they're really pretty. I just don't enjoy making them as much. I'm making a starburst bookmark for custom orders. For a custom order. It even has keyholes through it. It looks awesome. Ah, that's cool. That's really cool. I love bracelets that have keyholes in them. I should make more of those. Someone asked if I watched Demon Slayer, and someone said that Demon Slayer is a really good show. I haven't. I don't really watch shows right now. I don't know why. Yeah, on Bracelet Book, if you accept a friend request, it will just reload the tab. It happens every time you click on anything. Yeah, imagine clicking through 6,000 friend requests. I stopped accepting friend requests when it hit something like 100. That was like 2 years ago. Because it's too much. Like, I can't do it. I requested from the admin that, like, he had a accept all button or something like that, so I can just, like, click that and not worry about it. How did I mess this up? Oh my god! I messed this up ages ago. And none of you told me. None of you told me. To be fair, I wasn't paying attention. I can't expect you to be paying attention. I messed this up ages ago. I'm gonna cry. Basically, see these knots? This knot here, and this knot here. That was supposed to be a backward-forward knot, and this was supposed to be a forward-backward knot. The string, the multicolored string, it goes in, out, and it was supposed to go this way. That way. I don't know how well you can see. That way. It was supposed to go that way. But because I didn't do that, it's going out this way. Actually, no, this one I did right. This one I did right. Oh, this one I did right. Okay, at least one thing I did right. This one I did wrong. This one is going out that way instead of this way. This sucks. I usually don't make mistakes like this when I'm nutting. I'm paying too much attention to the chat. Is it okay to roll with it? I don't think so. There's no way for me to, like, if it was two strings, like, really close together or something, then maybe I could just kind of, like, you know, sneakily switch the position of them, which isn't something that I do a lot, because, it still creates issues. Like, it's a solution, it's not a perfect solution, it still creates issues, but this one's, like, really far away. I need this string. I'm not actually looking at my camera if I'm showing you properly. This string, this, like, multicolored string that you see coming out of here, I need it to be coming out of here. And that's too much. So I need to untie this. Ah, I'm so annoyed. This is annoying. Oh well. Oh well. At least you have support. Yeah, I have emotional support and people who understand my pain. Pain and suffering. Well, let's go, I guess. One by one, we're gonna untie this. Start this again. Yeah, I really don't make too much progress on streams, do I? Anyway, while you're having a breakdown, I'm gonna go get my beauty sleep. Alright, thanks for coming, Jake. Thanks for coming, Jake. Ah, my god, this is so frustrating. It's Especially because it's like separating now. I really don't like untying strings. I really don't like untying strings because whenever I just cut new string and add them in, nah. Should I? Ah, I can't even do that. That's not an option. I don't have enough of that string. I could just cut this one off and add that one back in. No. Should I? Is it gonna be more effort to untie? Nah, I'm gonna untie. What time is it for me? It's midnight. Oh, I'm gonna untie. I don't know why. To be fair, cutting the string and re-adding it back in does sound like a really good option. Right about now. Although to be fair, no it doesn't, because like this one is on the edge, and I have to make a backward forward knot onto it. No, I don't. But it's really close to the edge. I don't think I can replace that one very easily. Ah, it starts to separate. Oh my god. And then people tell me as well, like, sometimes I get messages and comments and like, oh, how do you always like make bracelets so perfectly? Like, but you never make mistakes. I make mistakes in every single bracelet. This bracelet, I did a knot with me for this one. I haven't posted it yet, but I will at some point this month. Within this bracelet while I was making it, I made like so many mistakes. I untied so many times. You can even see there was one mistake that I made. Can you see? Can you see my mistake? I'm actually not going to tell you. I'm going to give you like a couple of minutes to look at this bracelet and tell me if you can notice two places in which I made a mistake. It's not super obvious, but it's there. Like, if you can you notice it? But yeah, I made a bunch of mistakes in this one. What time is it for you? Already answered that. Midnight. I just made a mistake too. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, the pattern for this bracelet, by the way, is in the video that I posted today. I don't remember the pattern number. Maybe someone can post it, but it's linked in the video that I posted today. Got it. Well, you can't just say you got it. Tell me what it is. This can also show that no bracelet maker is perfect. Exactly. Nobody's perfect. It's 9 a.m. for me. Wow. Where do you live? 9 a.m. Is that Australia or something? Hey Siri. Hey Siri. What time is it in Sydney?
In Sydney, Australia.
Ah, it is Australian. I mean, it doesn't have to be Sydney specifically, but that's that time zone. I got that right. I hate it when I make mistakes and then my strings start fraying when I untie. Okay, so you can't see the mistake. That's what I'm... From the fact that nobody's putting the mistake in the chat, I'm guessing you can't really tell. So maybe it's not as obvious as I think it is. Okay, see how on this side it goes dark yellow, slightly lighter yellow, white. And here as well, can you see that? Dark yellow, slightly lighter yellow, white. And on this side it goes dark yellow, light yellow, darker yellow, then white. I mixed up the string order in these two sections. And that's annoying. And I only noticed that I did it when I was like here. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna untie this entire bit for these two triangles. So I just left it. Plus, like, it's not super obvious. So, like, eh. Oh well. This bracelet reminds me of parrots. So colorful. Ah, that's so awesome. That's awesome. I'm your biggest fan and I talk about you all the time. My family gets bored. Oh my god. I feel very special. Thank you. It's, yeah. Yeah. Wow, you guys are from all over the world. I love that. I love that. People are from all over the world. I don't know. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Alright, let's continue. Let's continue this mess. Yeah, this is annoying. Although, oh my god, this, I just like frayed it horribly. I frayed it horribly. Okay, so for those of you who missed it, because I said it at the beginning of the stream, I am currently in the process of filming a video where I ordered a bunch of string from AliExpress, and I am basically reviewing that string to see how much I like it, to see how good it is, blah, blah, blah. The string that I'm testing out within this bracelet is the multicolored string. The red, brown, orange string that you see here is a string that I ordered from AliExpress that I am testing out to see how much I like it, if it's any good, blah, blah, blah. And I do like it so far. My first impressions to you guys. Exclusive first impressions. Sneak peek. Yeah, I think I like it. I think I like it. I mean, it's just an embroidery floss. There's nothing... It makes the exact same size knots. It behaves the same way as any other embroidery floss. I have nothing negative to say about it. So I think I like it. To be fair, this one was the most expensive one out of all of them. For the rest of the strings, I paid very little. For this one, I paid $14, I think, for the pack. But to be also fair to that, there's a lot of strings in the pack itself, so I still think it's a pretty good deal. In fact, it's not just a pretty good deal, I think it's an amazing deal. For multicolored string, and for the amount that I got, I think it's an amazing, amazing deal. How long ago did you order the string? I have a horrible sense of time. I don't remember specifically. 2 weeks ago, I think. I ordered a bunch of string within that order, and a lot of the string that I got really quickly. Like 4 or 5 days. Which is super quick for AliExpress. If you have no context for that, it's super quick. This one I think was 2 weeks. This one was the longest one. Everything got knotted at the bottom. Not only am I having problems at the top, I'm having problems at the bottom. Sucks. Alright. I'm watching one of your tutorials. Greetings from Mexico. Oh, that's awesome. Hello to Mexico back. You should watch the Olympic artistic swimming. They competed this morning, and the last few days. I don't really watch the Olympics. Is that bad? I don't really care about sports. It feels bad to say because like everyone's like watching the Olympics now. Everyone's talking about them. I don't really care. I mean, I think it's cool. I just don't think it's cool enough for me to watch. I don't know. I feel bad saying that. There we go. What's a bracelet that took you a while to make? All of them? I don't know. Wall hangings take forever. That's not technically a bracelet, but wall hangings take forever just because they're huge. Anything that's big, I think, just takes a while. But I can't remember a specific one off the top of my head. So there you go. That's super quick. I know, right? 2 weeks is really quick. Because it also, like, the estimate, I think, was longer than 2 weeks. I need to untie all of this as well. Ah! Oh my god, this is gonna take you forever. Half the stream I'm gonna spend untying. I can't even get my... There we go. I had to, like, pierce that one. Couldn't even get the needle in. There we go. I do really like this multicolored string though. It goes from a red to an orange to a brown to a yellow. I'm loving the way that the colors look together so far. I wonder I'm not loving my edges actually. I think my edges are a little bit jagged here. I should have started the straight edge technique at the beginning. But I'm loving the way that the colors mesh so far. I'm curious to see what they're gonna look like eventually, because like there's... like when the yellow comes in specifically, I'm worried about the yellow coming in because I think it might look a little weird because everything else is also yellow. But we'll see. I think this is one of the main reasons why I enjoy making multicolored string so much, and in general I enjoy making bracelets a lot, specifically like bigger bracelets, bigger patterns, because I really enjoy seeing how like my individual tiny knots are creating this like huge beautiful design. And I find it fascinating to watch how it all comes together and how it all looks together. And multicolored string, on top of just looking at how the bracelet is forming, multicolored string also adds the variety of like each individual iteration of the design being completely unique and different, purely because of like the different ways that the colors combine and the different ways that the colors look. And I think that's why I'm so fascinated by multicolored string. I think it looks amazing. I think it looks really cool. There we go. We missed you. I missed you guys too. Currently working on the diamond cross bracelet following Masha's tutorial. I forgot I did that one actually. I really like that one and I forgot I did it. That's awesome. Thanks for reminding me that that bracelet exists. I actually really like that one. I should make one of those again. That was really fun. If you could have any pet, what would it be? If I could have... Can I show you this pattern? Okay. Block my husband's face out of the picture. But if I could have any pet, it would be this one. It would be this... Okay, well, I just made it dark. It would be this beautiful, beautiful child of mine that is in Russia. I love her, and I wish that she lived with me. But until my husband moves here, I can't have her move in with me, so it's just sad. But my ideal scenario would not only be this cat, my ideal scenario would be 2 cats and 1 dog. But living in London, I'm not sure how realistic that is. Oh my god. There we go. There we go. Stream more often. I would love to stream more often. It's just really difficult for me nowadays because I'm incredibly busy with a bunch of stuff going on in my life. Ever since I started working full-time, it's been increasingly more difficult to do online stuff, which is really sad because I really enjoy my online stuff. Next live chat or not with me video, I'm gonna get my strings and knock off some of my to-dos or another bracelet. Ah, that sounds really fun. Maybe I should film a live chat. Not live chat, maybe I should film a real-time knotting video. I haven't filmed one of those in a while. I really enjoy them. I think you guys seem to enjoy them too, based on the views and the feedback. You guys seem to like them. I already did film a knot with me. There's a knot with me coming at some point this month, probably in like a week. No, next week. Next week I'm posting a video with my sister Maya. The second one that we filmed, that one's already scheduled. That will be next week. The week after that I might do the knot with me. We will see. We will see. Name a bracelet that you hate and why. Any 1-2-1-2 patterns. And by 1-2-1-2 I mean patterns that have most, if not all, forward, backward, or backward, forward knots. I hate them because they are difficult to make. You can't really segment them very well. And I don't like them. I don't like them. I think I did this wrong as well. Did I? No, this one's actually right. Alright, I finally untied enough of the bracelet to be able to continue making the pattern. There we go. I'm making the diamond cross too! Ah! That's awesome. That's awesome. I really like that pattern. I forgot that it existed. You guys are talking about it, making me want to make it again. I got a pet frog. Should I name it Herbie or Kermit? I don't know. What do you guys think? I like both of those names. Do you speak Russian to your husband and family? I do. Yes. Yes, I do. Because we are Russian. That would be why. Is the plie thread as nice as DMC floss? No. I'll be 100% honest with you, it is not. It is a good alternative for when you have nothing. I mean, it's not horrible. It's good, it's soft, it's nice. The main problem that I have with it is that it makes knots that are slightly bigger than average embroidery floss. And because of that, your bracelets are going to turn out bigger, wider, and longer if you make them exclusively from that. If you make them in combination with other types of strings, in normal patterns, it's generally fine. It's not that noticeable, but you still might be able to kind of tell that the knots made by that thread are a little bit bigger than the knots made from regular embroidery floss, but it's like very difficult to see. In alpha patterns, though, it's incredibly noticeable, and I don't recommend making alpha patterns out of that. But like, it's nice. Like, it's a thread. You can make bracelets out of it. I've made plenty of bracelets out of it. So yeah. Would you rather have 10 cats or 1 dog? Wow, I would rather have 2 cats and 1 dog. But out of those 2 options, I would rather choose 1 dog. I don't think I could handle 10 cats. That's a lot of cat hair. I hate normal patterns. I can't even make an arrowhead. Oh no! What do you make then? Do you prefer alphas? Because a lot of the time, people tell me that they hate alphas and they can only make normal patterns. Like, I think it's more difficult to make alphas than it is to make normal patterns. But yeah, definitely. Someone else said keep practicing and practice even easier stuff first. I agree with that. I agree with that. Alphas are way easier? Really? Why? I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I find alphas to be pretty self-explanatory because it's just like you follow the pattern. With normal patterns, I guess the segment knotting can be a little confusing, and also figuring out the string orders for like a loop or a triangle end or whatever, it can be a little bit confusing. So I get that. Really? Is that like a common opinion? Do people think that alphas are easier? I've never heard that before. I've only ever heard people say that alphas are incredibly difficult. That's... yeah, someone put a mind-blowing emoji. I agree, that's mind-blowing to me. I did not know. You guys are making me want to try alphas now. I mean, I guess the most difficult part about making alphas is figuring out how to switch the strings. And I think another thing that's a little bit difficult about alphas is I think that they, correct me if I'm wrong because I might be just imagining this, but I feel like they use more knots. I feel like there's more knots in them. I haven't ever counted, but that's just my feelings. To be fair, that's probably true because like in normal patterns you have like every other row you have less knots than in the previous row. Does that make sense? I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I think the most difficult part would be trying to figure out how to switch the strings, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you just follow the patterns pretty straightforward once you do figure out how to switch the strings. But I've never heard that opinion before. That's pretty cool. Did I fix this finally? I think I did. That was so annoying. I made very little progress in 2 hours. It took me longer to get alphas down, but I mostly make them now. I I failed with alphas like a million times, but regular patterns come easy to me. I guess it's individual, you know? I mean, to be fair, that's like the answer to any question ever, that it's individual. But I didn't realize that this was an opinion that a lot of people had. I thought this was pretty rare. I think you're right, alphas seem to use up a lot more strings than normals. Yeah, they do, right? Don't they? They really do. They really take up a lot of strings. Specifically background strings, but even other ones, they seem to take up a lot of strings. You're one of the reasons why I started to make bracelets, and now I sell my bracelets. That's awesome! That's awesome. I'm really happy to hear that. Too bad you can't use a ruler for normal patterns. Yeah. True. I still sometimes use a ruler for normal patterns just to get an idea of how wonky my edges are. Like, I would kind of do that. It doesn't help me make them straighter, but it helps me figure out, like, if I'm pulling too hard on one side or the other, and then maybe I can, like, sort of pull on the bracelet, try to widen it, or, like, push it in with my ruler to, like, straighten. I don't know. But yeah, I like using a ruler for alpha patterns. It's pretty satisfying, I would say. Oh, look at that red. I think this red is really beautiful. I just dropped my washi tape. Oops. This red is coming out now. I think this is really beautiful. It's a very nice shade of red. Do I have a lot of it? It's gonna come up at the very end. Oh well. I have this bowl now. I feel like alphas have so many more possibilities. I think that's debatable. Oh my god. This string separated, oh, that wasn't actually as hard as I thought. But this string separated into individual strands and then knotted together with another string. What? That very rarely happens. I think that's debatable. What is debatable? I remember that I said that was debatable, but I forgot what I was going to be debating. What was I talking about? Oh, I feel like alphas have so many more possibilities. That's what I was talking about. I think that is debatable. There are a lot of possibilities that you can do with normal patterns that you can't do with alpha patterns. I feel like normal patterns create more intricate designs that look kind of abstract, that are just like beautiful aesthetically. Whereas alphas are more versatile in being able to create like an image. I don't know, like a cat or a dog or a logo or something from a TV show. Yeah. I like them both though. How do I make my chevron edges? Why can't I speak? How do I make my chevron edges more straight? Practice. I don't think there's anything else I can say really with this specific question. Just practice. It helps. Using a ruler saved my life. Yeah, it really does help with alphas. If you're not using a ruler with your alphas to push up your rows, you should be. It helps. Is there a tutorial on the pattern that you're making now? No, but the pattern is linked in the description if you want to make it, and I have a tutorial about reading patterns. So, no. I can't compare my skills to yours. Like, oh my god, don't! I've been making bracelets since 2009. You shouldn't be comparing my skills to yours. I doubt that you've been making bracelets since 2009. So just don't compare yourself. Also, just don't compare yourself to others in general. That's not a very healthy thing to do. It doesn't help. I can speak from experience. What bracelet are you doing right now? I am making a very beautiful pattern that I think I'm doing incorrectly. I'm doing incorrectly. This is not a knot that I'm supposed to be doing. Go away. It's linked in the description of the stream, and then if you're watching this on re-upload, it's also linked in the description. I always find it weird whenever I'm streaming. I always find it very strange to talk to people who are watching on re-upload. And I know that there are people like that, because like my streaming videos, they get like a couple thousand views. And I know that like people watch on re-upload. Hi, if you're watching this on re-upload, hi, leave a comment if you got to this point. It's like 2 hours in, but like if you got to this point, I would love to see a comment. I don't know, say something about alpacas to make me know that you watched until this point if you're watching on re-upload. I always find it really weird because like I'm obviously streaming, this is real time for me, and I can see you guys responding in real time in the chat, but there are also people who are watching this after the fact, and I don't know, it's a weird thing. Making videos in general is a weird thing because like you sit in your room all day alone talking to a camera and you're usually alone, but on streaming, I don't know, it's a weird experience. It's a weird experience. You can use the straight edge technique on chevrons. Don't do that. You can, but don't do that. It's not worth it. I mean, if you really want to, do that, but don't do that. Like, chevrons are pretty balanced. You can get them pretty straight with just practice, I think. You are legit the only reason why I make bracelets. You should join Instagram if you don't already. There's a lot of people on Instagram that post amazing bracelets. They inspire me like crazy. You should get more reasons. I mean, I appreciate being a reason. It makes me feel very special. But there are definitely people worth your attention on Instagram other than me. What do your parents think about your YouTube channel? My parents love it. I'm incredibly lucky to have super supportive parents. Oh my god, did I just lag? Did I just lag? Am I lagging? Why is chat disconnected? My internet died and I lost you guys. Oh, hi, you're back. Hi. Oh no. I'm sorry. My internet just died. It just died. And it took me a while to like reconnect. Hi, welcome back. Thank you for coming back. I don't know what that was, I'll be honest with you. That was weird. I don't like that happened. I hope that doesn't happen again. It kind of sets a bad precedent. Anyway, I'm back. I probably won't be here for long, to be honest, because I already streamed for like 2 hours. I'll probably end the stream relatively soon, like within the next 15 minutes. But I thought I would come back anyway, because like, you know, I wanna say goodbye properly. But yeah, I'll probably be streaming. This second stream is probably gonna be like 15 minutes or so. I don't remember what I was talking about before it disconnected. Love those colors. Thank you. Oh, I was talking about my parents. Hi, welcome back to those of you who are here. I was talking about my parents, and yeah, because someone asked what my parents think of my YouTube channel. Yeah, I was saying that I'm incredibly lucky to have very supportive parents who are very supportive of both my crafty stuff in general and my sort of artistic side, and also just my YouTube channel and everything like that. They're very supportive and they love it and they're very proud of me, and that makes me feel very, very nice. Very nice. What happened? I don't know, my internet just died. And so I had to create a new stream. I just came back from making banana bread. I'm so happy to see that you started again. I have. I won't be here for long. I'm probably gonna go somewhat soon. Just because it's like midnight in London. You know. Alright, what am I doing here? Oh, I need to go to the right. I'm probably gonna memorize this pattern really soon because it's actually pretty repetitive in the way that it is. I don't know, there was a word that I was looking for there that I couldn't quite place. But yeah, the pattern is pretty repetitive. I think I'm gonna get the hang of it pretty quickly. So yeah. I watched your tutorials during quarantine and I've learned so much. My favorite is the flip-flop bracelet and the heart one. I really like those too. I think they're really cool. Really cool bracelets. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy my videos. I'm in school right now. Pay attention to school. Pay attention to school. This will be up on re-upload if you want to watch it later. If not, that's also cool, but pay attention to school. That's important. I didn't realize you streamed before this. I used to stream. I used to stream pretty regularly. I would stream like once a week, even twice a week sometimes. I haven't streamed properly in forever, so that's probably why you didn't even realize that I did this. But I'm gonna try to stream more often. I'm gonna try. I had trouble understanding the new butterfly bracelet. The butterfly bracelet is a difficult bracelet. I will be honest with you with that. It's difficult. It was even difficult for me to do, so maybe work your way up to that. It's not a simple bracelet to start with. So don't be sad about that. What time is it for me? It's midnight, which is why I'm probably going to say goodbye to you relatively soon. I like the colors you chose. Thank you. It took me a while to choose these colors, actually. The main purpose of making this bracelet was I wanted to try out the new string that I got, but I couldn't figure out what colors to go with for it. My go-to, my basic sort of idea is always to go with like black and white, but I got so bored of that. Like, I enjoy black and white patterns with like a multicolored something in the middle, like black as the outline, white as the background, and a multicolored in the middle. I enjoy that. I think it looks very nice, very classy. It looks good with a lot of different designs. I mean, every multicolored string I think looks good with like a black outline. But I got bored of it. I'm so tired of that. Like, I do that all the time. So I tried to come up with something a little bit more creative this time. Not go with the same colors that I always go with. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with this. I knew absolutely nothing about how to do friendship bracelets until I learned from you. That makes me feel like, I don't know, that's wonderful to hear. That is wonderful to hear. And it's so weird. Like, I've taught people around the world to do something. I don't think I'll ever get over how weird that is. I've been doing this for 2 years. And I don't think I'll ever get over the fact of how weird it is that I was able to connect with people from all over the world, like strangers, really. Like, you guys are strangers to me prior to like me interacting with you in any way. You were complete strangers to me, and I was able to connect with you guys from all over the world to just like teach you. I don't know, I don't think I'll ever get over that. That's really cool. What am I doing? Should I go in with the color? Should I do the left side first? I'm gonna do the left side first. Have you ever met a fan? I haven't. I actually haven't. I've never met anybody. And I think that quarantine and COVID probably didn't help with that. I probably would have organized a meetup or something like that in London. Sorry, I'm just untying up knots here. I probably would have organized a meetup in London by this time had it not been for COVID. But with COVID, obviously, you know, stuff happens. Can't really do that anymore. I've been watching your videos since quarantine has started, and I've come a long and great path thanks to you. I'm now making a shop, so thank you so much. You inspire many of us. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you. That's so lovely. That's so nice. I just finished a D&D session and I saw you still streaming. Guess I'm continuing my bracelet. Well, look at that. That's awesome. You explained the knotting process very well. Thank you. Thank you. This is actually, like, also another interesting thing. Like, it's incredibly difficult for me to judge whether or not I made a good tutorial. Because I've been making bracelets for so long, things that seem obvious to me might not be obvious to other people. And whenever I post a tutorial, even like to this day with like however many years I've been doing this, like 2 years I think, right? 3 years? Oh my god, I've been doing this for 3 years. It's been 3 years! That's crazy. Anyway, I've been doing this for a couple of years now. Even still, whenever I post tutorials nowadays, I get nervous that I didn't explain it well enough, that it's not understandable. Like, it's really, really difficult for me to judge that. So thank you for the feedback, I appreciate it. I appreciate negative feedback too. I sometimes get like, especially in the beginning, I think, I got some, well, not necessarily negative, I would maybe say, what was that? I would maybe say it was more of constructive feedback, because it helped me, and it wasn't negative, it didn't produce any negativity. But yeah, people told me that like, oh, you should explain this more, or the way that you are doing this is not particularly good, and I've made changes to the way that I make my videos, so I really do appreciate the feedback. Oh, by the way, since I have 53 of you here, let me actually post this in the chat if I can. I made a poll, not a poll, I made a form. Whether you have been a patron, are a patron currently, consider becoming a patron, don't care about patron at all. If you could fill in this form, I would appreciate it. I'm trying to get some insight about Patreon, what perks, I'm trying to make changes to it, what perks I could offer to make the experience better, what are some changes that I could make to the way that it's currently being run to make it better. So whether or not you are considering, don't care about it at all, I would love to hear your opinions regardless of that. So if you have some time, I would appreciate you filling this in. It helps me. I'm gonna mention this again because I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. I don't know how many of you guys were here. I started doing a new thing with my patrons. I'm doing a mystery bracelet knot along, which is this one. It's going to be a monthly thing where my patrons and I on the Discord server are going to be making a bracelet together, except you guys don't know the pattern that we're making until you've already made it, essentially. I send you the pattern in pieces, in small pieces of like 14, 15 rows each, and you make that piece, and then the next week I send another piece, and then the week after that I send another piece, and then eventually we end up with a bracelet. So yeah, if you want to participate in that, you can join that from the lowest tier on Patreon. You don't have to pay a lot of money. You can be the smallest one to join that. It's fun. But yeah, I'm looking to do more things with my patrons to make it a more fun experience. So I would appreciate some feedback. I was trying to find the words to say that. Where do you usually buy your strings? Is there a place you go for your string? I usually buy my string whenever I'm in Russia, because I can buy a lot of it for pretty cheap when I'm there. So that would be that. Just signed it. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. What happened to the last one? Did it cut out or log you out on purpose? That was not on purpose. My internet just died for like a few minutes. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. I apologize for that. What am I doing? I'm going to the left. Right? Right. There we go. I love how you tied the teardrop loop. Thank you. I haven't made a teardrop loop in a really long time, so this is actually kind of fun. I just finished starting the third one. Wow. Wow, you're amazing, honestly. Like, how are you gonna finish all of those? Because, like, I'm posting... This is about the mystery bracelet on the Patreon thing. I'm posting, like, 15 rows every week. But then the last week, when I finish the full pattern... How are you going to finish it so quickly? There's going to be 3 of them. For some reason, I can see that you posted your live. Yeah, that happens. That happens. It's fine. I'll make it private later and re-upload it to Masha streams. After the fact. That happens because usually when I finish my streams I make them private straight away, but because I had to create a new stream after that one finished, it's uploaded to my channel, so there we go. Okay, I'm gonna make this symmetrical and then I'm gonna go because it's nearly 1 AM and I should probably go to sleep at some point today. So I'm just gonna finish this bit, make it symmetrical, and then I'm gonna go. If you guys have any questions or anything you want to say or you want me to talk about before I leave, now is a good time to ask, because I'm gonna go soon. Oh no, what did I do? Am I doing this right? I'm not doing this right. I should have gone to the left first, because then I can't connect them. Do you have any patterns that you would recommend for multicolored thread? I posted a video today in which I talked about all the different kind of ways that I like using special string. And I stand by. I say this every time. I really enjoy any kind of pattern that has an outline with multicolored thread. There's other ways that you can use multicolored thread, and people probably more creative than me have found even better ways, I guess, or just different ways to use it. My string popped through. Yellow popped through. There we go. But I prefer strings with an outline, patterns with an outline. Any pattern with an outline that I can, why does this happen every single time? That I can then use that outline to highlight the multicolored string. I enjoy that. Thank you for the live stream. It was a lot of fun. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. It was a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun talking to you guys. To be honest, I would have streamed for longer. I really enjoy this stream. But it is 1 a.m. and I should probably go to bed. How many languages do I know? I speak 2 languages fluently, Russian and English. They are both my native languages. Oh my god, that's such a massive knot. I can't speak. Massive mess of knots. Why can't I say that? My god. But I can also kind of speak German. It's a very, very basic German. I understand German better than I can speak it. But very, very basic conversational German. I think I had B2 back in 2012. I don't know what my level would be now. Which one did you learn first? I mean, technically, Russian. I learned Russian first. And then when I was 3 years old, my parents moved to London and they kind of just dropped me off at a nursery here when I was 3, and by the time I was 4 I was fluent in English without learning it or anything. I just kind of absorbed it. Kids are weird. Kids learn so fast. It's fascinating. So yeah. Time difference is so funny. It's 4 p.m. where I am now, and I'm literally going somewhere in half an hour. Yeah, you guys exist and live your lives while I sleep. That's pretty funny. How did you learn them besides your mother tongue? I started learning German in school, but then I went to Berlin for like a language school for 2 summers in a row, and I stayed in Berlin for a month and a half each time when I was 14 and when I was 15. And that's actually where I met Stefan and where Stefan and I started dating. It was his school organized the school trip, and I just sort of tagged along because we went to completely different schools, and I just sort of tagged along because like I knew someone who also went there. Well, rather my grandma knew someone. It was a long story, but I kind of tagged along to his school trip. And that's where we met. We met in Germany, learning German together. And I didn't even like him for the majority of that trip. Like, we were there for a month and a half. I didn't even like him for the majority of that trip. I just sort of, we started dating and like right at the end, like a week before we left, we realized that we liked each other and we started dating. And I honestly thought that like by the time we come back from Berlin and we come back to Moscow, that we would break up, because I thought it was just like a summer thing, like, you know, we'll hang out. We'll hang out for a bit while we're, you know, on this trip together, but then when we go back to Russia, we're just gonna break up. But you know what, like nearly 10 years later, we had our 9-year anniversary just a couple of weeks ago. It's been 9 years. That's crazy. Plan on learning any other languages? Potentially. I would love to learn some more languages. I don't know, it just seems a bit overwhelming. I really want to learn sign language, actually. In fact, I know a couple of very, very basic signs. I can like sign my name, I can say a couple of very basic sentences. And I think I understand it a little bit more as well than I can actually sign myself. Very basic signs I can understand. But I would love to learn more. What pattern are you making? I think, I don't know if it's actually in the description of this one. It should be. I hope it is. Because this is another stream. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. What country do you live in? I live in London. I live in London. I'm going to go. Thank you so much for coming. I had an amazing stream. I haven't streamed in 5 months. It was way too long. I'm really hoping that I'm able to stream more frequently. But I can't promise anything. I'm trying. I'm just working way too much right now. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. I really loved this stream. This was probably like one of the best streams I've ever had. I had a great time. Thank you for making me feel so welcomed back into the streaming space. I had a great time. I hope you liked it too. And I will see you when I see you. I don't know when that will be. I'm posting a video next week with Maya. It's a really fun video, actually. That one, I really enjoy that video. I think you guys are gonna like it. But yeah, I will see you when I see you. Thank you for coming, and bye.